I thought just a tremendous job overall, especially in the batter's box. I thought we came out, executed our game plan, kept our foot on the gas pedal. I think that's what I'm most happy about, is just our ability to come out in every inning, put pressure. I think we scored quite a few runs with 2 outs in that second inning, which I think says a lot about this team and kind of who they are. And to me, when we do things like that, it's because we are understanding the process and not worrying about results. I thought all of our pitchers came in, did their job. Peters especially did a great job coming in and throwing up 3 big innings for us. So pleased overall, which I don't say very often.
We'll start with Cease.
Robert Sesson, the Eagle. KK, two-part question. What was working for you today? What you're seeing well at the plate? And you hadn't been, last 8-9 games, you haven't been doing that well. And what was the problem there?
I think having a lot of time this week, and it sucked to lose, but I think it gave us opportunity to work on the things we needed to work on. And I kind of sat down with Harger, and we talked about my success was when I was focusing, hitting middle away, and that's kind of my whole focus this week. So.
Did you do that today more?
Yes.
Picking that change up?
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I think my whole approach today was just middle, oppo gap. So I think just hitting change up and going with it.
We'll go second row on the left side.
Kayla Gaither from Texags. Coach, I want to talk a little bit about the pitching. I know you're a pitching mindset. Talk about Peters coming out and doing her job, and then Munnerlyn and Lessentine. I just want to hear your thoughts about them.
Yeah, our goal was to try to get 3, maybe 4 pitchers in this game just to kind of get their feet wet, I think Kate and Lessentine last year in postseason kind of got thrown into some crazy spots. So I wanted it to be a little bit more steady. Peters wasn't healthy. And so I think that, just for me, I thought it was important for Peters to come out, work her zone. She felt good. I felt like she got better each inning, which I think says a lot about kind of where she's at with things. And I thought Kate, she always, keeps me on my toes on those 4 pitch walks to start off the inning. But after that, she settled in nicely, did her job. And she has good stuff, and so I know that she's capable of doing it. And same thing, I think, just continuing to work on hitting her spots, and she did a good job of changing speeds. KK made a great play to finish the game. But I just think overall for us, it was how I had drawn it up is we were able to execute it.
Just a reminder, we'll do questions for student athletes first. We'll go second row on the left side to Texas.
Kane Agley, Texags for AK. Just walk us through the Grand Slam. You were hitting 500 with the bases loaded previously this season, but just walking up there knowing you do what you had to do.
I kind of just make sure I score. My thought process was make sure I score these runners. We need these. We need this right here. We were already up by a few runs, but it's like we can't stop. Like put your foot on the gas.
We'll go front row on the right side to Travis.
Hey, Travis Brown, KBTX. For both players, what's kind of going through your mind as those runs keep going and trying to pass the bat on to the next player? And, how many did you think y'all could put up in that inning?
I was just like, we can keep passing the bat. Like, we'll just keep it going, keep it rolling.
Yeah, I agree. I think just not letting, we have this many runs, it's okay, let's settle. I think we took this game and really, like she said, pass the bat.
And then how good was it to be able to get a little bit of power going into the bats after a little bit of a, dry spell-ish in the last couple games?
Yeah, it felt really good to be able to put up that many runs, especially with having a little rough patch. But I thought it was really good for our bats and being able to see that.
We'll go TV row on the far left.
I'm right here. Thank you. For the players, either one of you guys, obviously big win in the beginning. How do you build off of this momentum, and what kind of confidence does this give you guys going into the next game?
Yeah, I think we just take, like you said, the confidence and knowing we can play with anybody in the country. I mean, you've seen in the beginning of the season we played with anybody and some of the top pitchers and players in the country. So I think we just take that level of confidence and play some Aggie softball.
And also for Ariel, do you think hosting has also kind of just helped with you guys today, having a home crowd in front of you, and then just the vibes and the energy, the bubbles? I'm eating bubbles at this time.
Yes, always having the 12th man being our support system and just being able to be at home for one more weekend is really awesome for us.
Anything else for the student athletes? We'll go to Cease, and then we'll get them out of here.
Yeah, AK, follow up a little bit on KK's. You haven't been as hot as you were the last few games. Your first at bat, you take a two-strike pitch, you go the opposite way to get the first hit. Pretty good, looked like pretty good hitting. Did that maybe give you more confidence and you get the home run? Just to take us through your mindset, your first at bat to the grand slam then.
Yeah, my first at bat, it was kind of just Mick was on base, like move her over, like do your job, keep the bat, pass the bat really, and then second at bat it kind of kept in. That did help with my confidence a little bit, knowing that because I swung at a ball and I got it out there, so I was like, you can put your bat on the ball.
All right, ladies, thank you. We'll get you guys out of here. Who has a question for Coach?
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll go second row on the left side to the battalion.
Obviously, the regional, a lot of ways to go, but how nice was it to see an immediate response like this after the SEC tournament?
Yeah, it was good. I think our offense has been really good. Even in that Auburn game, we were fighting like crazy. We had some big balls. Wark had a big ball in that game. And so I think for me, it was important for us to come out with energy. It was funny. I have my daughter was in the dugout with me, and she was like, "Mom, you remember last year, the first game, you weren't very happy. Our energy wasn't good." And I didn't remember that. She, of course, reminds me. But I loved where our heads were out. I loved our intensity. I love the fact that we didn't give in at any point in time in that game. And so that's really those are the things that I really look at instead of, how many runs and those things. But for me, it was just our focus and our intensity was really good today. So
We'll stay on that back row on the left side.
Aiden Hunter, K&M Radio. Your 2025 regional started off with a very similar outcome with an 18-0 win first game. Looking now to 2026, is there a different approach y'all are taking to be able to maintain this momentum from a first win of this series?
yeah, I think for me, it's more about how we won this game today. I felt like our intensity, our focus was really good. I felt like our 2-out at bats, kind of listening to AK, my job is just to get these runs in. So they're not trying to do more than they need to. It's more about how do we manufacture more and more runs. And the big things, the big games happen or the big innings happen. But really, I go back to this word that I've talked a lot about this team is the selflessness. And just being able to, this is my job right now. I don't really care if I get a hit or get out, but my job is to get that runner to home plate, So I think that's, something that I think we've done a really good job with.
Coach, kind of.
Side of TV row and then over to the right.
Yeah, Coach, kind of looking to tomorrow, those are two programs you're very familiar with, ASU and then also McNeese. You guys beat them earlier in a midweek this season. Can you talk a little bit about where you think those advantages that you guys have going into whoever the winner is for those games?
Yeah, I think for us, we haven't faced ASU, obviously, but we've faced McNeese. But I think we're playing at home in our regional with the 12th man. I think those are the things that will help us. But I think our ability today to be able to execute our process and our game plan is what I'm really happy with. And I think if we were on the road or here, my money is always on us when we do those things.
We'll go to the right side to Travis and then Aaron.
Hey, Tricia, KK mentioned having that week off kind of helped lock in. What did that week look like? What was some of the focuses, especially for her and some of these hitters that really were able to step up today?
Yeah, it was focusing on the things that I think got exposed the last couple of games. And again, we have a group that likes to work, and they are willing to take a step back and reflect and be like, I need to get better in X, Y, and Z. And so, pitching wise, offensively, Harger did some one-on-one work with some players, and we kind of have joked about this. But we haven't had a lot of practice time during season. Every week has felt like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, or we've had a midweek. And so it had been a while since we had all hands on deck, being able to execute. We threw some live. We did some short game things. So some things that I think are going to really help us if we're going to win this regional.
And was there a piece to some of those early at-bats, part of the approach that kind of let you know that this was locked in, or maybe something like that was coming?
Yeah, I thought our 2-strike approach was good, and I thought our oppo gap, we're going well when we are thinking, kind of oppo gap. When we get a lot of pull side hooks, it's just not the swing path that we're looking for. And then I think, Peters did a much better job in the circle, and I think that's really, that was good to see for her to come out and execute all quadrants of the zone. So.
Stay on the right side and then back to TV row.
Going off that a little bit, you've talked about the success that this offense is able to have when they get hot. What was the moment, or was there a moment during that bottom of the second inning where you said, yeah, this is what I've been talking about all along?
Yeah, I think it was the back-to-back-to-back home runs, yeah. But I think really it was the 2 out, and you could just see it was like a machine, an engine of like, let's go, next batter. And that is like when you're watching that, you're like, that's what it looks like, and they can feel it, and like the energy is different. Kind of a weird thing, but yeah, you can feel it in the dugout.
Coach, you mentioned that it was impactful for you guys to have 3 pitchers get in today and really get their feet wet in an easier environment, but you also got to do that on the flip side. How impactful is it for you guys to be able to bring so many bench bats up and get an at-bat early in the regional?
Yeah, I think it was huge. I mean, Maddie Sani, again, like big at-bat. I mean, I think the sun played a role in that, but that kid battled her tail off, went to 2 strikes, full count, and just kept battling. And so I think this is her first regional postseason play, and just really impressed with her composure, I would say, up to bat. And just she's our glue, I tell you guys. Like she's big time.
We'll go second row on the left side.
You talk about that back-to-back-to-back and just having that momentum. Did it feel almost like that Friday after a rain delay versus Oklahoma? You mentioned how they were just feeling it.
Yeah.
Did it feel kind of like that, and how can you maintain that throughout the weekend?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but that's not a bad, good energy. You're right, though. Good energy, focus. I mean, I think, to me, that's what's fun. Like, I hate the girls will tell you, I hate the word fun. Like, what's fun? Like, winning is fun to me. That's what's fun. But really, like, dominating and, like, executing at a high level, like, that's what's really fun to me. Like, that's what drives me. And so it's a running joke that, like, we don't have fun. I'm like, it's not that. I want us to like go out and like be the best version of yourself. That's what's fun. So, but yeah, I tease them a little bit, like go have fun. And so, but I think when they get it though, this group gets it. Like you can hear it in their voice, their excitement of like when we are rolling, like we are worked our tails off. We are prepared. We have faced everybody throughout this year. Like getting out there and just absolutely getting after it. Like there's nothing better.
Anything else for Coach? We'll go to Cecil in the front row.
Tricia, you touched on the fact of McNeese or Arizona State. I wanted to ask you yesterday, you said, you told the players there, it's not an arm they haven't faced yet. My question is, I'm sure you've got a little bit of Brown. Who does she remind you of? Because a lot of people have talked about her, so
Yep.
I'm wondering your thoughts.
I would say probably Ruby. That down. She's got good up, and Ruby's got pretty good up as well. I think that would be my comp. Yeah. So, yeah.
We'll go to the right side of TV row.
Coach Madison at KCN. No game is obviously perfect. What is something that you didn't see today that you're looking to see in the rest of the regional?
Yeah, I think we could have been a little bit cleaner in the circle. My head always goes there. I talked to Kate about the 4-pitch. Really, the first 6 pitches that she threw were balls, and so just the ability for us to come out and right away do that. And then we had a couple opportunities with runners in certain situations where I felt like we just hit the ball where it was pitched instead of having a game plan of trying to move runners. And there was like 2, but that's where I live in that space. So I think we could have done a little bit better in the circle, Lessentine and Kate. But overall, I mean, not a bad day. So.